The name is Brandon Groce. And we are the Game Changers. Designers, creatives alike. We are in a world that runs on value. Our next designs will be the shiniest. Our next animation will be the most buttery. Ladies and gentlemen, Game Changers, let the games begin.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Editor X Live with me, your host, Brandon Groce, and I'm super excited to have all of you guys here. We have Lainey, Lorraine, Adrian. Let's go. Super excited to have you and everybody else in the chat. Let me know how you guys are feeling today and just how excited you are about today's Apple website recreation. I'm excited to go through everything here with you today. Now, first off, I do want to say thank you to all of you who's been asking question after question in the Discord. Please keep that up because it allows me to see where you guys are very curious, what things are still you are working through, and we can make sure, even though the challenges might be different, I can bring some of those things in and help you guys through some of the questions live here while we do the challenge. So with that said, we have some house cleaning items first, and if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe and like this video because it helps tremendously. With that said, let's hop into what we're doing today. Alright, first off, if you guys are newcomers to the challenge, first off, please make sure you go to editorx.com and go to Start Now and sign up for your free account for EditorX so you can start making really cool responsive websites today with us and join the challenge as well. Alright, so now that we have that over and done with, second thing you want to do, both editorx.com, link in the description, to make sure you join our Discord. Once you guys, again, link in the description, this is the place where you'll get announcements for each and every challenge. You're able to ask questions on things that you're getting stuck within EditorX, and also be able to really just join a community of really amazing people who are making amazing things, and we can all learn from one another. When you do join our Discord, you'll be brought to either the Get Verified or the Rules page. You must hit agree to open up the rest of EditorX's Discord so that you guys can just see every other channel that is in here. So please make sure that you agree to the terms of service, and then you will have access to our weekly challenge announcements. Today we are building, as you can see, the Apple's website in EditorX. You guys will have a link in which you can schedule all of the events on your calendar, so you guys don't constantly have to be reminded or jump back in the Discord. We send reminders to your actual calendar if you so desire. And you guys can also ask tons of questions, which I am very happy you guys do. And of course, this is a place where you can submit all of your challenges after each day of challenges. And this is basically where we give feedback. We showcase each previous design in the next day's live stream, like we will today. Yesterday was challenge number 7. We'll be taking a look at those today at the end of the stream. So with that said, let's hop into today's challenge and let us begin. All right, so let me minimize everything, and I'm going to delete this because I was showcasing to Adrian a little bit of what you guys can do with sections. We'll talk about it today also, but what I'm going to do is, actually, you know what? I'm just going to delete this page. I'm going to add a new page. Here we go, and I'm just going to delete this one. We no longer are in need of this one. So I'm going to set this one to home, and I'm going to delete this home. There we go. All right, so we are literally starting from brand spanking new. I have not added anything to, I'm making the Apple website from scratch with you guys today. I didn't want to set up anything, so you guys can see 100% from scratch how I do things. All right, I see the chat going. Lorraine says, my Texan friend always greets me with howdy. I love it. Just north of Dallas. I used to live in Dallas. Man, I absolutely love the climate there. And what's going on, Dima? Glad to have you guys in here. Lisa, what's going on? Okay, so this is what we're building today, ladies and gentlemen, for reference. So this is essentially the homepage. We're going with a nice navigation and basically pretty much everything pretty simple. A lot of this is really just big images, and we're going to utilize our grids, and really each section really just has a title, a subheading, or a little bit of a paragraph, and 2 CTAs. So with that said, you guys can download today's starter files, first link in the description, everything that you need is there. So you can go ahead and start with us then, or by doing that. And I'm just going to put this off to the side for myself as reference. Excuse me. All right, hold on one second. I'm having some connectivity issues, so I'm going to close Dropbox very quickly. All right, there we go. Let me know if you guys have any connection issues, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and create our navigation. So I'm going to squeeze this in a little bit, and I am going to actually, I'm actually going to open up Adobe XD very quickly because I want to swatch some of these colors here because I have not gotten any of the colors to start off with. So I'm gonna give you guys the colors as well. Got to get exact coloration, ladies and gentlemen. So for our menu here, what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and just grab this color. We have 3. I'm gonna just grab this. There was a whole bunch of 3s, guys. So I'm gonna just set this background and we're gonna add a new color. 3 through 3, 3 through 3, 3. I'm gonna put that in one more time. I think I accidentally clicked off. Boom, add, there we go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of our menu items. We have quite a few things here. We do have, let's see, I'm gonna make sure we have a menu here, but it's white, or it's basically it's dark, so you guys can't really see what it is. So we are first going to add all of these menu items. I'm gonna zoom in here. So we've got quite a few things. We have store, Mac, iPad, iPhone, all this stuff. So I'm very quickly going to type all of this into our pages. So I'm going to go to pages, add new, and we're going to go store, add page, Mac, and thank you, Lisa. The connection is good. I was worried. My computer was like, it's going down. Something is wrong. All right, we have iPad, so thank you for the reassurance. I didn't want another mishap like yesterday where the entire first half of the stream was basically going down and everybody was like, Brandon, we just see your YouTube thing? What's happening? All right, I'm just adding these pages. iPhone up next. We have watch. And what do you guys think? Because I'm actually curious. I know a lot of these things are repetitions from our previous thing. Like the menu does take a lot of time, and I realize we spend a lot of time on it in the beginning of every challenge. Is it helpful to see this, or is it kind of redundant and you guys would rather just get into the meat of the project and you guys kind of understand how menus work? And I know there's a couple, some people who are new drop in, so I think it is valuable, but I would also love to know from you all as well. Mayank, what's going on? Mayank and Kim, how are you guys doing? We are just currently creating the menu items for our Apple website. We have accessories, support. Perfect. So these are all the pages we are going to use. We are now going to click on our menu over here. We're going to manage menu, and we're going to add our items to it. We're going to pick site pages, and we're just going to go down the line and just select all of the pages that we just created. Hit apply. And we are going to pull this. Let's see. Lainey says, get into the meat of the project unless someone asks. Lorraine says, I understand menus now, but always learn something new in the layout. Got you. Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and try to, we'll do that from now on, because I think there are some regulars, but I'm trying to figure out the balance for when new people come in, having them understand this stuff. So we'll figure out a good balance, but I appreciate your guys' feedback. That helps tremendously. So I'm going to go and I'm going to bring in our Apple SVG. I took the time to get a proper Apple SVG, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to actually probably make grids with this. So we have this. I want to make sure that I am not on the support page. I want to be on the home page. So I'm going to go to my pages. Right now it's showing us on the support. We are not on the support. We want to be on our home. I'm going to just rename this. There we go. And I'm going to add 2 icons here. We have our search bar and we have our little cart here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my media and let me see. This is our search. Just like this. I'm going to scale this down properly. And we're going to talk about search at another time. That can be, if we get to that, we'll get to it. Because there's a, this kind of gets into a whole nother thing that might take a little bit longer and that I haven't prepped for today, but I know you guys are probably going to have questions about how to introduce search to your website. We'll make sure if we can make that into a challenge next week, because we're going to start getting into a little bit more functionality, not just how to create some of the container section, or the sections, containers, and how to utilize grids. We're going to move more into functionality next week. All right, and I'm going to grab my shopping bag icon here. Add to page. Mayank is asking, can we add buttons inside of the hamburger menu for mobile devices? Yes, you can. If you watch yesterday's challenge, we actually do exactly that. So we created a, let me show you. I can just skip to there right now. We created this website, and essentially when we bring it down to mobile, whoops. We bring it down to mobile, we can click the menu, and we have a button here, play free. So if you want to watch how we did that, just go to yesterday's episode. It should be in, you stay here, watch. But you guys can watch this and how we did it in yesterday's episode. So great question. All right, so back to where we are doing. Okay, we have our items here. We're gonna just scale this to a size that I'm kind of happy with. And let's see what we have. So I'm going to set this to fixed. I do not want them percentages. So I'm going to do 32 by 32. Pretty happy about that. And I think I might do the same with this. So let's do 32 by 32. Okay. Alrighty. So now we're going to just grid things up. So I'm going to select my header here. I'm going to apply a grid. I'm going to do a 3 by 1. And I want to give, I'm going to change grid layout here, go to advanced, and I am going to give our menu in the center as much space as possible. Like this. I'm going to go to done. I'm going to take our Apple menu here and I'm going to dock it to the inside of this. Very different from how we've been doing it. I'm going to make sure it's aligned both to that exact grid line we made and make sure it's centered. Same thing here, make sure it's centered. And these pieces here, I think I'm actually going to add a third. Or, you know what? We don't have to do it just yet. It might help, but I think what we might do for now is just dock these to the inner portions. Nah, we're gonna add another one. I don't want those things free floating. So I'm gonna go to advanced mode. I'm gonna just add another column here, because I want to contain these images just a little bit better. And you guys will see what I'm talking about. I want to lock these in. Just like that. Okay. So now these icons, I want them to just be in this little cell here. I'm going to go to layout here. I'm going to left align all of the content. Perfect. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. Left align this here. And we are in a good spot. Okay, so I'm going to just center these as best as I can. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. So I'm docking this to the right, and we'll dock this to the left for now, and we can move on. All right, so up next, we are going to do the first section, and we have a title, a subhead, and 2 buttons here. And we just have an image. So this is going to be pretty simple. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I am just going to, let's see, how should we plan this? I think this is pretty easy. I think what we could do, and we can put, there's a couple of options we can do. At first, I'm just gonna go ahead and add our main image here. I'm gonna scale this, just like that. And the next thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna add in our text, and we'll figure out what is the best way to kind of make sure it doesn't move. So I'm gonna make sure I'm selecting my section, quick add title. And I don't think I did, so you guys will be able to see this. iPhone 13 Pro. I'm gonna center this, and we need, let's see, SF Pro display. Let's see if I automatically have it. Okay, no, I do not. Okay, so what we're gonna do very quickly, let's see if I can do this live with you guys, because a lot of you were asking questions how to upload fonts. So give me a second here, and I apologize, I did not prep this in advance. I thought I already had it uploaded. Let me see, SF Pro. Dun dun. Or maybe we won't worry about exactly the font just yet, but don't be like, guys in the chat, be like, Brandon, that doesn't look like iPhone. We can fix the font later, but I just want to get everything in here. But essentially, to upload any font, you just click in here, upload font, and then literally you can just click upload font, and you will be able to drag any sort of file that's related to fonts in here. But I don't want to spend too much time. We're just going to focus on hierarchy and things of that nature at the moment. So I'm going to scale this to what I have, which is, we have about 60 pixels. So edit text, we're going to make this 60 pixels for now. Laney's asking, what are the best legit places to get new fonts? So what I do, literally, all I do is I type in the type of fonts that I want. So if I know I'm trying to get SF Pro font, and I know it's challenging for non-Mac users to get it, so I'll type in SF Pro font free download, and I probably got it from right here because I previously went to this SF Pro display font family. I can download font to desktop, and I think it should automatically download, but sometimes they'll ask you to do interesting things. I think it should automatically, yeah, it's right here. There we go. But I just type it in Google, honestly. So I can unzip this, extract, and I have all these that I literally can, I'll show you guys how I do that. So edit text, boom, upload fonts, and go to downloads, SF, boom, open. We ended up doing it live anyway, ladies and gentlemen. And basically, it will take time to basically upload these different styles. And so while that's doing that, hopefully it will do it in the background, because I am not trying to keep this window open. All right. So let's maybe, I'm scared to close it, but let's see what happens. Anyways, I'm just glad I did that with you guys, and for some reason I cannot close that now. It's like it must stay there. All right, we'll just let it do its thing. I did upload a little too much, so hold on one second. I'm gonna refresh. Laney, yeah, some font sites are a little sketchy. I would just highly recommend that you don't click things that look like ads, and you make sure you click the correct download button. You really have to be careful on some of these sites. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do our subhead, Oh So Pro. I'm just going to select our section, quick add. I'm gonna do paragraph for right now. Double click in there, paste, and let's see if, okay, some of these are populating in our SF Pros, but for right now, I'm just going to use what we're using here, which is our Poppins semi-bold. and we're not going to bold it. So pop in the semi-bold for right now. Okay, we're gonna edit text. For some reason it disappeared on us. We're gonna center it. Okay, we're gonna squeeze in this. We don't need all that space. Center, perfect. And what else do we need? We need our buttons now. So I'm gonna go ahead and, how do I wanna build these? So I'm going to go ahead, select section, open this, and you know what? I'm trying to think. I feel like I might want containers for these. So I'm gonna add a container. We're kind of gonna build it a little bit like we did with our Tesla website if you guys were here last week. And I am going to put the content inside of these containers. So I am going to add text in here. So I'm just gonna add a title for right now. Our buttons, we have learn more. There we go. We don't need all of this. We're probably gonna make this about 15. Just give this some space. Bring this to the left here. And I'm gonna apply a grid here. I'm gonna do a 2x1. Reason being is I want one side with the text and one side with the arrows. Okay. I'm gonna quick add, and let's see. I'm gonna do shape, because this is going to be our arrow here. And so I'm gonna increase the size. I want it fixed. I want this to be 15 by 15. All right, so let me see. I'm just gonna go back to this and see what we have. The size of this, we got 8 by 14. I'm just gonna scale this up just a little bit. Change basic shape, and we're gonna go down or type in here arrow. And let's see which one will work for us. For right now, we'll just pick this. Just the here, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna flip it. Perfect. And I'm gonna get this puppy centered. I'm gonna undock everything here. I don't want it docked yet. And I'm gonna center this in that container, just like this. And I might scale it down just a little bit. We don't need that big of a button. Again, center it. And now I can start scaling this a little bit. I'm gonna move this in just like this. We don't need, the arrow doesn't need that much room. So now I can scale this just like this. Make sure that, oh, this must be, yeah, fluid. I was like, why does it keep changing? So we're gonna set it to fixed. There we go. We don't need all that space. Perfect. So now I'm gonna take the background off of this. We're gonna set it to, we don't necessarily need it white. I want it opaque. But let's see. Here we go. Opacity. Okay, so from this, I'm gonna duplicate this, Control D. So now I have two buttons, essentially. Learn more, and we're gonna take the other CTA by. And we are going to change the width for this. I'm gonna bring this down. Scale this. Okay. And you guys can fix, you know, you guys can take the different arrows, you guys can change what you want. I'm just trying to show you guys how I'm setting up each CTA. The specifics, the fonts, and all those things can definitely be changed literally like in the last moments of this. And those are the super easy things. I just want you guys to see the hierarchy, how things are being built, and all those other color changes, things of that nature can easily be changed. All right. So now what I'm gonna do here, so I'm gonna try to get these in in a spot. Now, we've talked about this in previous other challenges where it's just like, so far there is one section and all these things are floating, which is fine. But sometimes when you want to keep things restricted, you want to have containers, grids, things of that nature, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So in this section, I'm going to add, and I'm trying to think, do I want to do a container? I think we might do a container. I'm just going to add a container. Quick add container. Lainey says, can you please include the Adobe XD assets in the files you give us in the project? It's been useful being able to play around while having an Adobe XD file to work from. I can definitely try to add both of those in there for sure. All right, so I'm gonna give this container a little bit of an opacity here, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get all of these assets that we just produced in this container. So I am going to add I'm gonna apply a grid. I'm gonna add 3 grids here vertically. 1 for the title, 1 for the subhead, and 1 for our call to actions, okay? And I'm gonna type in title. I'm gonna name this title, description, CTAs. All right. Now I'm gonna take everything that we've made down here. I'm gonna Control X. I'm gonna select our container and I'm gonna paste everything in there. Okay, well, let's see. Did this damage anything? All right, I'm gonna pull them in one at a time. So let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I can just automatically just pull. Okay, cool. I can just drag them in. Or at least, hold on. I'm just gonna do this. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna set this to 100. Perfect. Sometimes things get a little funky, especially when you are trying to pull assets that are on the bottom of certain containers. So I basically just had to get everything out of I had to move the container out of the way, then drag everything into the container. All right, so now that everything is in our container, now we can basically construct how we want this to be. First off, I'm gonna turn off the background of our container. We don't need all that. And I can also go even more into depth here, where I can put a container that basically is situated in this last portion that keeps our buttons in a fixed place. And I think that's what I might do. And then we're gonna reuse this for every other single section, so we never have to build this again. So I am going to I'm gonna add another container, quick add, container, or you know what? We don't even need to do another container. We're gonna split this down the center. Advanced mode, add column, perfect. We're gonna dock this always to the center. Same thing with this. I'm gonna do 100%. Perfect. And now our containers here. I'm gonna pull this to one side. And I do need to fix what's happening here. Set this to fixed. Basically, our containers got a little smushed. So what I'm gonna do here is, let's see if we make this 100. Okay, our thing here. I wonder where the change grid layout, what happened to our grid layout here? Advanced mode, what happened? So it looks like this got smashed. So let me see, I'm gonna delete the grid very quickly and I'm just gonna remake it. I have no idea what just happened to it. It got smashed, so I'm just gonna reset it, apply, get our arrow, bring this back. Okay, and I am going to, I think this one is probably gonna be a little bit easier. There we go. This didn't get smashed, so this is fine. I'm gonna leave it for right now. And this, I'm just gonna, okay. Only a little bit of room for our arrow, then pull this back down. Make sure that this is centered. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take both containers, make sure that they are centered within both the left and the right side here. And I can set these, let's see. I want them to be maybe 50 pixels from the center of this section. Same thing over here. I'm going to do 50 pixels. Okay. And I see a question in the chat. Lisa's asking, have you found that it's better to add the grid after you add the elements and then adjust, or opposed to creating the grids then adding the elements after? So Lisa, again, I wish it was a science versus an art. So while I'm doing this, I'm basically thinking, this is what I'm trying to create. And then I'm like, there's actually a better way that I can, because I'm thinking about the things that I'm going to come up against, right? So I've put all the assets that we're going to need, the title, the subhead, and then the buttons. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can either have this in a section, it would totally work, but I'm like, well, when we start getting to resizing things, it might take a little bit longer. So I was like, why don't we just make it so that we just have a container, and all of these containers we make a grid inside of the container, and we just put each thing inside of a section. For example, I think this goes to a question that you guys had earlier between containers versus stacks. We totally could have done some sort of stacks with this as well, but you have to think through, and there's no one way of doing things. You have to think, I'm trying to build something. Is it going to be easier to control where they move if I do X, Y, or Z? So it's kind of what I always continue to repeat, that Editor X has a whole bunch of tools in its toolkit for you guys to use. And you have to decide based on what you want to make, what is going to be the most useful to you, if that makes sense. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and steal our colors. For this, I'm going to go to, and I hope that helped, edit text, add our color here, 1. Boom. I'm going to add this new color here. Same thing over here. And finishing this here. Okay. Lainey is asking, would stacks not confine stuff as much as grids, like cut stuff off? Yeah, so hold on, let me see this. Stacks not confine stuff as much as grids, like cut stuff off. So we could have definitely used stacks, although for me, I'm really comfortable with grids. Stacks sometimes, I probably wouldn't use stacks in this particular case. Only reason being is because there is a left and right here. There's a button on the left, button on the right. We could use stacks, but it would just be, it's very complicated. So I don't want you guys to think one or the other. We can use both. It's just the combination of both in which we can get our desired outcome, which is when we start pushing and pulling things, or if I want the learn more to always stay on the left and the buy button to always stay on the right at certain pixels away from the center, what will allow me to do that best? A container, or some sort of div, a container or a section that is cut in half, that will allow me to separate the buttons and not cross into each other. Lorraine says the hex is, and this is why you guys want the Adobe XD file. Explains a lot. It is 0066CC. And for the navigation, the hex is 333333. All right, so we have our first section done. All I'm gonna do, because up next is our second section, which is literally the exact same thing, just duplicated. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna select this section, Control D. We have section number 2. We're gonna change the image. We're gonna just swap them out. We're gonna switch it for our purple background here. Oh, it looks like there's a little background on here. We didn't get all of it. It's at 4%. So we're going to just zero those out. 0. We're going to make these white. And in the future, guys, we also are going to be talking about how to create components so that we don't have to constantly remake things. For example, this whole section, we literally could create a master and we would never have to change it. But again, that's a whole nother thing. We might make that a challenge for next week so we can get into some of those nitty-gritty items. We're going to change this to white. Same thing here. And we got some different colors here. So this pink, we have FCC1EA. Sounds like I'm doing lottery stuff, guys. Please come to the front, WC4215. All right. And for the blue, this blue is 2997FF. It's a little bit of a lighter blue. And we're going to do that for both of the text and the colors here for our arrows. There we go. Okay. So now we're just going to change the words. Your new superpower. We're going to make sure that this is 100%. This will just be iPhone 13. And we are going to... We can maneuver... They just seem so far away. So you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to center this like directly on this section. And I might do... What is this is about 30 pixels away. So rather than 50, I'm going to do 30 pixels. That looks a little bit better. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to make sure that this hits right on this line. I'm going to left align it, or right align it, excuse me. And our container, our other button here, is going to be 30 pixels away from that center. There we go. And let's see. Next section, we have our watch. Okay. So again, I'm going to take this section, Control D to duplicate it, and we're going to drop our new image here. We're going to select the image, change image. We're going to grab our watch just like this. It should change, perfect. And now we're just going to add a few more things. So we need this logo here, which is the watch. We have a Series 7. We have our subhead and these things here. So what we're going to keep is we're going to keep this subhead in our buttons. We're going to delete this. In our container, we're going to quick add, go to our images. I'm going to make sure that this fits right in here, in between, because we want to scale it between those two sides. And we're going to change image. We're going to bring in our Apple Watch logo. We're going to hit this cog. We're going to go to reset image. Perfect. And I'm going to scale this puppy down right so it's in the center. And we're going to scale the container because we need a little bit more space. So let's see. I'm going to take our container. We're going to scale it down a little bit. We're going to give the top a little bit more space. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to add new and Series 7. So I'm going to duplicate our text down here, pull it up. I'm going to type in all caps Series 7. I'm going to go ahead and grab this color, which is CE2E33. Let's see. I'm going to change that color. Bow. And how are we feeling, guys, so far? Where are we? Are we lost? Are we good? Are we struggling? How are you feeling? The chat is, I'm like, the chat has gotten really quiet. So it's either you guys are like slapping your keyboard really hard, or you guys are eating popcorn. One or the other. If popcorn is what you're doing, I'm totally fine with that. But I'd also love to know if we're on the same wavelength here. All right, I'm gonna duplicate this. Pull this to the top. Make sure it's centered here, okay? Because it looked a little bit off to me. Gonna have new, capital N-E-W. And we want to, Lorraine says all good, okay. And I'm gonna check on our fonts up here, see if they all downloaded. Oh, no, it looks only like 3 downloaded. So, Lisa says just concentrating on what we're doing. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take, what did we use for this? This was Poppins, it was bold. I think we might leave this just for now. We'll leave towards the end, we'll change all the fonts and everything. So this was 20 pixels, we're gonna get this color, BF4800. Edit text, change this color. Lorraine says taking notes. That's what, sweet. All right, so we're gonna steal this, introducing our largest display yet. And we are going to make this, actually let me see what color this is because I know it's not full black. 1D, 1D, 1F. I'm gonna add it to our swatches. Perfect. All right. Learn more and buy, cool, we have those. And what I am going to do is, because we're on basically that white gray again, is we're going to steal both of these containers here. I'm just going to container 1, container 2, holding shift, copy. And let me see if I can do this. I'm going to delete both of these containers, paste these. And just put them in. I could have changed the colors, but I figured that this was sometimes I get a little struggle with the colors, guys, because there's just a whole bunch of that's one thing I would love the team to be able to add, is just a better way of accessing the swatches. All right, so we have our 3 layers. What is our next piece here? All right, so this is when we start getting into splits. So we have some decisions to make. We can either create one section, then create a grid, and then add 2 containers. So this is kind of what so this one whole section that we're gonna build here, they will be what we repeat for the other 2 sections. So the Apple website is actually probably the easiest site that we have built this week and last week, because it's all reliant on assets. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create a new section. I'm gonna give it a grid, 2x1. And let's see, let's go to my Adobe XD file here and how big we wanna make these. So this section, we're looking at about a height of 590. 590. I'm gonna put this at none, section, 590 pixels, and let's go ahead and start adding some things in. So first off, just because I just want more, actually I don't think we need to do that. All we're gonna do is we're gonna add this image directly into the background of this section. Change image. We are going to grab our 3, there we go. And we are going to go ahead and basically duplicate the containers that we used up here. So I'm gonna grab this container, I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna come in this section, I'm gonna paste. Adrian says, any reason why 2x1 and not 2x3? Oh, I see what you're saying. Because essentially, like I said, there's no wrong way of doing this. Like literally, you can do exactly what you just said because it makes sense, right? So you could do 2x3, and that makes total sense. Either way works. essentially what I was going to do is I was going to do one section and basically duplicate and duplicate. So you can either do exactly what you said or my way. There's like, that is an exact example of, there is literally many ways you can approach a project. So you asking that question shows me that you're starting to think, huh, there's more than one way of doing this. So Adrian, hats off. Good job. So, and also, if you guys have any questions like that, please say them. Like, the fact that Adrian said that, the wheels are turning. You guys are starting to see how EditorX is working. It's not one size fits all. There's so much you guys can do. All right, so I'm going to try to get this into place. Let's see. Limited, we do not need this image, so we're going to pull that out. Limited time offer. And you know what? I'm going to go to my EditorX file so I can just, I've already written all this stuff up. And I do apologize that I have not offered the Adobe XD files for this, because I thought that I stopped putting them in here because I thought it would be more valuable just to give you the raw assets. But I do see that, you know, there is a lot of good things, the colors, the swatches, you know, the actual text that you guys might use. So I will continue to try to provide that for you all, and you know, just keep giving feedback. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna say give more to your heart. This is 40 pixels. Drop that to 40. Make sure I'm selecting the text. Boom. All right, and let's see. We have a little bit more text here. It's a little bit thinner. So I'm gonna paste that here. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna pull this container up as well. I'm gonna select this grid. I'm gonna pull this up. And the only reason this is moving is because of, let's see, I thought it was docked actually. So I'm gonna dock this to the bottom here. Don't need it to the right. I do want it centered. Okay. This will be centered, and let's see, how should, I'm gonna fix this a little bit. So I'm gonna pull this in. There we go. I want a nice two clean two lines. I'm gonna center that. And let's see what we have. We have one CTA. We're gonna call it shop. So I'm gonna delete a container. I'm gonna move this CTA to the center. We're gonna just send it to shop. And we need a little bit more room. So I'm gonna go to my section here, and I'm gonna give it a little bit more height. So I'm gonna do 700 pixels. Perfect. I'm gonna adjust this container now, or this button. Oops. All right, let's see what happened here. Layers, container, basic, shop. Make that small. There we go. The shop essentially was pushing out the arrow. So we're just diagnosing what's going on with this. I'm gonna pull this out. Okay, make sure our shop is 48 pixels here. I'm gonna pull this back down. I'm gonna center it. Okay. Just keep pulling that, condensing the container it's in until it's the size that I want. I think I can give it a little bit more space. Just like that. Make sure it's centered still. All right, we're looking good. I'm gonna pull it up just a little bit. I'm gonna pull this grid up just a tad, just like that. We're looking fire, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking good. All right, so I'm gonna pull up. We don't need all of this bottom space here. Pull this down. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take this entire section, and this is kind of, so this is why I sometimes like to use containers, right? So essentially what I did is I created a background image in here. So we have, let's go to my layers. We have an image, and then we have all these things on top inside of a container. Now what happens if I want to basically bring everything that's here over here? I could copy and paste, add an image here, and just take this container and just bring it over. But if I put everything in a container, I literally could just hit Control D and pull that into a new, pull it over here. So, but instead, we're just gonna do We're just gonna pull this image over here, change, and we have that nice little flower thing, update. We're gonna make sure it's undocked everywhere because we still wanna edit some things. I wanna make sure that this is 100% of its width. And this container here, we're gonna edit this just a little bit. We're gonna push this up. There we go. And we are going to select the container, Control D. Perfect, and I'm just gonna bring this over here. And I'm gonna make sure it is the exact same pixel height from the top, and basically aligned exactly where this is. So what we have here is just changing words. Shot on the iPhone, we do not need this. Shot on iPhone, something just happened here. Okay. All right, this is what I want to copy. Let's come in here, paste, here we go. This limited section that is in our container, we no longer need. So I'm just gonna delete that. All right, ladies. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna get our other copy here, paste that in, and I believe the copy for this needs to be a little bit darker. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna see what our text color is. Okay, it's just black. So I'm gonna set this to black as well. Okay, same thing with our CTA. From blue to black. Oops, not changing that. All right, we have to go to the design panel for this. Change it to black. Okay. And now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna take this section, just like I said before, Control D. All right, and now we're just going to the next section. So essentially, guys, like this is the workflow. This is how I like to work, is in sections. We did section 1, we got it down. We made sure that it was basically exactly what is going to be needed for the following sections. So all we had to do was Control D, fix things here, Control D, and fix things in the third section. And same thing here. We started off with this, boom, we're good. Duplicate it, all things here are good. All right, so now we are just changing the copy here. So I can pull this out, future forward, boom. Just copying our text here, guys. I don't know why it always brings in that iPhone 13 thing. All right, here we go. I can scale this, get that nice two lines of text. We have our learn more and buy that we can bring back in. Again, just taking from here. Copy. I'm gonna delete this, paste. Pull these both right where they should be. Make sure they're centered. Horizontally. And 30 pixels padding or margin from the left. Okay, so next, changing the background here. Change background. We're gonna grab that nice watch photo. Perfect, and now we're gonna change our text. Just like this. Edit text, boom, white. Same thing here, edit text, white. And let's make sure that the color, I think this is our lighter blue again. Yep, it's the 299. So I'm gonna go back to my swatches, edit text, get that lighter color, 2997FF. Same thing. Oop, not change the. Oh, I keep forgetting, guys. I gotta go to my design panel over here. Boom. And same thing for the buy button. Just like that. And of course, to set the links, guys, for the text, when you go to edit text, there is this link right here, and this is where you will decide where this button goes, or where this link goes. Adrian says, I take it containers are better to use than stacks. I've noticed that stacks aren't as responsive. Yeah, so the whole purpose of stacks, they're not necessarily responsive. Stacks are essentially, if you want to make, let's see if I can do this really quick. What am I trying to do? I'll do a new section for you guys. Okay, here we go. I'll do a blank. So a grid versus a section. This is when we would use a section. I'm gonna quick add. I'm gonna add. I'm just gonna create 3 images here. All right. We have image 1. I'm gonna change this. Let's say this. Yeah, I agree with you, Lisa. It would be nice to really have the text be able to, really everything be in the inspector. But again, EditorX is literally like a year old, and all of these that's why, you know, these challenges are super important. The fact that we get to talk to you guys, and you guys are able to be like, hey, Brandon, you know, what about this? How about that? All of that feedback, all of those conversations, you know, are going to make the product that much better. And yeah. So thank you guys very much. So, okay, this is what a stack will do. I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to go ahead and stack. This does not mean that this becomes responsive. Hold on 1 second here. So I'm going to select this image stack. The whole purpose of a stack is to be like, I didn't like this when it was up here. I want to put it down here. Well, actually, let me do this first. So all these assets we have in here, what I can do is I can set a fixed spacing between them. So let's say, you know, right now there's more spacing here than there is here. Let's say I want an even amount. So I'm going to do 20 pixels right here in item spacing, and it fixes that. And then let's say, well, now that I have my fixed item spacing, well, I want this to be second. So what I can do is I can just bring this here, and you can very easily swap images in a stack rather in keeping the same item distance, rather than having to move things, then kind of bring them in and then realigning them. So that's really what a stack does, and what it's efficient at is keeping things evenly spaced, as well as keeping correct spacing between your elements. Okay, so that's what a stack is efficient for. Containers are basically for helping keep things where you want them, if that makes sense. So it's probably more likely that you'll have stacks inside of your containers versus inside of your grids versus having things inside of your stacks for responsivity. So I hope that helps. All right, so we have these two. We're good to go. Oh, we need to do this. So I'm gonna go ahead, change this photo to our AirPods, just like this. I'm gonna pull our container down, make sure it's centered, change out the words, AirPods, boom. Copy this. Perfect. And we're going to add back in our learn and buy more. So I'm going to go back, grab these, container, copy. And go ahead and delete this, paste, pull these into our containers, just like this. Or into our grid rather, sorry. Making sure our learn, again, horizontal alignment, so it's in the exact center of this grid section here. And again, we want this to be right aligned, right up against that line. A parallax effect would be nice on the earbuds. They definitely would, Adrian. However, it's cropped. It's literally cropped like right at the top here. So if the image is larger, most definitely. But actually, you know what? We'll see. We're gonna mess with some interesting things. Okay. We'll see what we can do, because we can still put the parallax, but we won't see the top of the very top of this earbud. So we'll see what we can play with. Wow, I can't believe we're already an hour in, guys. Like this took way longer than expected. I definitely have to work on the longer projects, but actually this is a perfect time for me to ask the question. Do you guys like these longer projects? Like literally the ones that we have been doing this week, or do you guys just want to come in for 30 minutes and get out? You know, I think you guys answered that question already a little bit, you know, this week with the polls in the Discord. But, you know, it's even easier for me to ask you guys here, because, you know, I think what we're doing right now is extremely valuable, and we've been talking about doing somewhat of a, what do you call it? Almost like an office hours, where you guys are asking a lot of really good questions in our Discord, and really just have a time where we have maybe like quick 30 minutes to go through the entire day's worth of questions live, and you guys can come and join a chat, you know, not just with you know, text, but you know, we can actually conversate. Lorraine says yes, a mix between longer and shorter would be interesting to do. Longer projects broken into sections and topics. Got you. Adrian says the parallax will just enlarge the image. It will definitely do something for sure. Just because it was not cropped in the way that, you know, is intended. All right, so I'm gonna change all of this to our darker blue. And grab this. But I definitely think we can get like a good arrangement of long and short projects. It just so seems like, you know, this past week we've probably had longer. Do you guys feel, I guess that's the better question, do you guys feel that these challenges have been longer or been shorter versions? So let me know in the chat. Okay, so we have all three sections. We are going to just change this last one. Wait, hold on. Lorraine says if it takes you an hour, it's going to take us at least 3. Hey, at least we're all learning, guys. And also, I also wanted to clear this up, because I think a couple people had questions regarding how the challenges really work, and they, you know, I feel maybe some people might feel rushed. These challenges, you do not have to finish one every single day. You do not. That's a lot. Although if you do, that's awesome. It's more practice for you. The whole 2-week challenge purposes are for you guys to have literally 2 weeks of time to come and practice on your own time. So I don't want you guys to feel stressed and try to finish projects every single day, even though that's kind of, yeah. so shorter projects would help with the daily turnaround. You know, I think maybe what we'll do is we'll try to find a spot where the longer projects that we have are give you guys like 1 or 2 days or something. We'll figure something out. Okay, so what we're gonna need here is we're adding a new thing. We're adding I think the Apple logo somewhere here. Da-da-da, image, change image, Apple TV. Do not judge me for picking a very pixelated logo. We're gonna reset the image size here. I'm just gonna pop this in the center here of this section. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit. There we go. Lisa said, would give the opportunity to discuss issues we have had the previous day. Exactly. So maybe we'll figure out a way to do like an office hours. Adrian says, Lisa, post your queries on Discord. The community and Brandon are responsive. Well, Lisa's definitely been asking with the the questions, and they've been extremely helpful, so thank you. I think the majority of you guys have been asking questions. All right, so I'm just going to go back through these, just make sure everything, all these containers are literally in the center here, because it looks like they haven't been. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and change. All right, so we have this. We have this copy like that. And we have a new CTA, which is stream now. So all I'm going to do is I am going to take, what does that look like? Stream now and then that. All right, so I'm going to delete by. Learn more is going to be called stream now. We're going to make this white. And our arrow friend is going to become a play button. So I'm going to go play. And we're just going to play with that. And we are going to change the color of that to white. And we're probably going to need to scale it. So I'm going to come in here, our container. I'm going to increase the container size. I'm going to increase the size of our little play button here. So I'm going to go to fluid for a second. And I'm going to type 100% in here so it just scales. And what I need to do is I need to increase, there we go. You guys can barely see this, but what I'm doing is I'm basically extending, I'm moving the grid that I made here. And I might pull it over just like so. I'm gonna publish, ooh, I didn't mean to publish, it's the wrong button. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna take this. I'm now no longer needing it to be 100%. I'm gonna drop this to maybe 20, not 15, maybe 30%. Okay, I'm going to center it horizontally. I'm going to flip it. And I am now going to scale the entire container down. Oh, hold on, guys. There we go. It was just a little freeze funk. So scale this. You know what, I'm gonna undo that. I kept it as fluid. I don't want that. I want it fixed now. I want it to always be 25 by 25. Scale this down. There we go. Just correcting our grids there. Now we're gonna center this puppy. Okay, perfect. And we're gonna change this out. I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna add the correct logo for this stream. I'm going to scale that image up, change image, and we are going to use, what is it, Pretzel and Friends or something? Pretzel and Puppies. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is honestly how easy this was, ladies and gentlemen. I think the only thing that I would like to do is maybe manage this menu a little bit better, go to layout and give it, you know, all items same size. I think that's what we, you know, just give everything a little bit more room. I'm gonna pull these over just a little bit, give these things a tad bit more room. And even more, okay. Just gonna push this all the way over. There we go. Right about there. Perfect. Okay, so we're looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we just finished the desktop version of Apple's website. So with that said, now we have to do, it's just gonna take a while, guys. So this is what I want, okay? We're gonna cut this short because this is what I wanna see from you all. All right, I just want you guys, because there was a lot just in this, and we're gonna close it off just at the hour. And my goal for you all, do not worry about the responsiveness of the Apple website. What I really want to see from you all is how you're utilizing your containers, how you're utilizing your grids, how you're utilizing, you know, the ability, because, you know, what we did here, the most of the work was done in the first section, and in the container to make sure we can duplicate that through everything else. And making sure that we can use that literally in every other section to come. So my goal for you guys for this challenge is just the home page, just for desktop. If you want to go and be above and beyond that, you guys want to start getting into the responsive, just apply everything else that, if you guys have time, if you guys want to, you can apply it to this project. But remember, we already did a lot today. We're trying to master containers, grids, sections, and how to utilize them in all of our projects. So this is far enough for today. There was a lot that went into this, and I think this is going to give you guys a great grasp on how to better utilize the toolkits of sections, containers, and grids to make sure that you have full control of all of your assets within a section. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. If you are excited about this challenge, do not forget to like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe. And to publish the website, you're just going to publish this, hit this publish button up in the top hand corner. You can name it challenge, I think today is challenge 8. Yes, today is challenge 8. We'll just call this daily challenge 8. I'm going to save. I can then go to the site if I desire. And we're looking pretty good, guys. We're looking pretty good. So this is all I expect, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to add more, cool. But make sure you do drop this in our Discord in the correct channel, which is challenges. And do make sure to add it. Oh, thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. And make sure you drop it in your challenge in the proper format with your name, challenge number, so this is 8, and with the proper link, which is that right there. And I will leave this in the chat for reference for you guys. Again, remember, this is desktop only. I can imagine already the people who are like, Brandon, what happened to the responsivity? I'm just gonna put that in there. Desktop only. There we go. All right, but on top of that, I really want to shout out all of you guys for the last challenges. We had Rain coming in, Lainey, Lisa, and Dimma. So let's check out what you guys got. I'm gonna pop all of these open. All right, so first off, we have Lainey. All right, let's check it out. All right, so first off, let me see what you got going on. All right, we are in the game. I like the improvisation. Very nice with the flag. So I can see that maybe there's a bit of a cutoff with this. I would probably scale that down just a little bit more. Play now button is looking hot. I would try to, with this border here, I would try to utilize, what is it, the resize image. I think that might help a lot. But I love the animation that you have here. And I see that you are practicing both moving the text, adding this little animation here on this box, and moving the red plane. So very nice. And let's see how we did with the responsivity. All right, responsive is looking good. Very nice. I try to keep this in the center, the button, just make sure that we're aligning that there. Very nice. It looks like we want to dock these lines a little bit. But hey, with the time limit, you did excellent. So I would definitely, this button seems to, like it's boxing a little bit. So I would definitely try to dock that, but very nice work. But first off, I gotta say, like, this stuff is looking good. I love the improvisation. I love the fact that you got the lines in the video background. And more importantly, you know, the button was probably the most complicated thing in that tutorial. So hats off. Very nice. All right, up next, let's take a peeky. Oh, this looks good. We got that nice little animation. I would definitely, if you want, and you know, this is neither right nor wrong, but if you want to, definitely pull off that red just a little bit. But we're looking good. Very nice. I see that you use the breakpoints to drop into the tablet very early on. Very nice. We got that button in there. Okay. Very nicely done. Very good. And I see that you kept the lines. Good job. So that is, first off, hats off to Lorraine and Lainey. Very nice job. Up next is Lisa. And this is looking good. Again, I think all you guys could definitely, with the image resize, it's either me or it probably was me in the way that I cropped it, so I apologize in advance. But I love the fact that you sized the logos to where they don't look pixelated. Excellent job. Ooh, and let me, very nice, very clean button here. Ooh, ooh, look at, where are the napkins? I need to cry. This is absolutely delicious. This is really nice. Very good job. Very good responsive. And this was Lisa. Excelente. Excelente. That was very nice. Everything was responding very well. And let's do that one more time. It's slow motion. Just watch it. Just watch it. Oh, boom, blow. All right, let's check that menu. Menu's looking hot. Very good. You even changed the home to red. Got that play button. Oh, yes. That's a winner right there. And Demo, let's see what you, ooh, coming in with the animations. Okay. Okay. Button is looking good. All right, let's do the squeeze. Let's do the squeeze test. All right, so I think this was me. I think maybe I did not give you guys a good cropped image because it seems like everybody's right side looks cropped. We got to do a little bit of a docking workaround for the menu here, but the animations were fire. Yes, excellent job, guys. I'm very happy with what we have. So, again, just want to give one last shout out to Lorraine, Lainey, Lisa, and Dima. Excellent job. Super excited to, hold on. Adrian is asking, can you tell us where you got your tie? Aliens. With that said, guys, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to subscribe, like the video, and also tell your friends about Editor X so you guys can make some cool things together. With that said, I will see you guys tomorrow for the last day of the challenges to recreate again, an e-commerce homepage. And with that said, again, if you have any questions, drop them in our chat, and I'll be sure to get back to you. With that said, your host, Brandon Groce, will be out until tomorrow, and I will see you on YouTube yet again, 1 p.m. EST. All right, guys, take it easy. Have a great day. Peace. Dope responsive websites like this, and even this, for you and your clients within just minutes. First off, you can achieve all of this and much more in the powerful no-code platform, Editor X. On these dates, I will be hosting live daily creative challenges on YouTube to teach you the fundamentals of Editor X and how to create the exact responsive websites you see here, all the way from start to publishing the website. If this sounds of interest to you and you want to improve your Editor X skills, join me live each and every month to get inspired by what amazing things we will create together during our creative challenges, as well as get your questions answered live while we work together. Click the link below to sign up and get notified when the challenges begin, and I will see you in our Discord. See you then.